when I go to the gym, for me, it's it's a necessity in my life. I've been doing it for so many years now that I literally get depressed if I don't go to the gym. I mean, I have no choice in the matter as far as going to the gym. And how it all kind of started out, I've always been lifting weights, but when I got really serious is when I used to drink alcohol, and I quit drinking alcohol, period. So, and I wouldn't say, I don't know, I guess I probably was an alcoholic. I wasn't a raging alcoholic by any means, but I did like to go out and drink on the weekends and stuff like that, like a lot of people do. But technically they call you an alcoholic if you just drink on the weekends. So I went from that, I quit alcohol 100%, which has been like 13 years now, to working out. And so I basically just obsessed myself with working out. I mean, it's all I think about is working out, and for me, it's just so interesting. Anything to do with it, I like. I'm not a big reader, but if it comes to working out, stuff like that, I'd love to learn about new techniques from, because you'll never learn it all. You'll never know it all ever. You have to, just broaden your mind and listen to people. And it doesn't matter who it is, what age you are, female or male, they all have good knowledge for you to learn. And I mean, I cherish that. And as far as when I go to the gym, I always have a set workout. I always like on, basically what I do chest and buys one day, and I do back and tries, and then I do legs and shoulders. So I do it 3 days a week. So I go to the gym a minimum of 3 days a week because I have to work out my whole body. And when you go to the gym, and it just depends on, usually I'll kind of do the same ones, the same exercise, same machines, stuff like that. But then obviously, you get bored sometimes, so we'll throw in something else in there just to breaking up the monotony, or, just to push yourself harder. And as far as the exercise that I do, what I see is the harder the exercise is, the better it is for you. I mean, I enjoy that. I enjoy to push myself to where I'm about ready to pass out. I can't breathe. I enjoy to push myself. I'm very, very into the harder the better. Most people are in there just to go through the motions and get it done and go home. I'm not that way. I push myself super hard. And anybody who's ever worked out with me, like doing legs, they're just like, they're like, you're insane, because you push, and I just love it. I got a story that I'll tell you. It's kind of interesting. When I was working out at the gym in Post Falls, it was called 5-in-1 Fitness. And there was a gentleman there who used to teach and train Olympic athletes. And he told me, he's like, "Hey, Scott, you want to try something?" He goes, "It's a test." He goes, "I had all these Olympic athletes try this." And so basically, you take a bar, a 45-pound bar, like, you do squats and stuff with, the straight bar. And then you put on a 45 on each side, and you do like half squats. And he says the record was, what was it? I think it was 31 minutes, I think was the record. I mean, I don't know for sure, but it was right around there. Anyways, he had people taking this test for years and years, and nobody could beat it. The guy who said it was an Olympic athlete who set the record for him, and he said he'd been having people try it for 10 years. And he asked me if I want to try it. I'm like, "Oh, sure, I'll give it a try." And so then me and my buddy, he started, and my buddy, he just dropped off pretty quick. And I was about 5 minutes. I'm like, "Holy shit, man! I don't know how anybody could do this," because it was hard. I'm just like, wow. But next thing you know, I'm at 35 minutes, and I beat the record. He couldn't believe it. At the age, at the time, I was, I think 52, 51 or 52, and he couldn't believe it, because the other guy was a younger guy who was an Olympic professional athlete, and he said he didn't think anybody would beat that ever in his life. He didn't think anybody. It blew him away. He's like, "Man," he goes, "you are an animal. I can't believe you." But he goes, "I don't think nobody would ever beat that record, ever." He goes, "I had people trying to beat it for 10 years. And he goes, "And you walked up," and he goes, "I was just kind of laughing that you were even going to try it." And I beat it, and I beat the record. And the only reason I stopped, because my shoulders, I could have even went longer, but my shoulder was hurting so bad, because you got your shoulders up, doing a squat behind your neck. So your shoulders just fall asleep. You can't even feel your shoulders. So you have to let go with like one, and then let the arms lay down, so you can. It's still doing squats at the same time, then switch. But I mean, it's so painful just trying to hold the weight up there, let alone doing those squats. But
so you were doing a. Hold on, let's get this straight. You're doing what again?
it's a squat. It's basically a half a squat.
A half a squat with just an Olympic 45.
Olympic bar and 45 pounds, so it's 135 pounds.
Okay, so 135 pounds, and you're just holding a squat position?
No, you're squatting down. You're up here, you squat down a half a squat, up and down, up and down. You're doing a half a squat. You're squatting.
Okay, so you're just doing half squats for 30 minutes straight.
Yeah.
And then that's the thing is you just go and go and go.
Yeah,
and see how far
nonstop. You don't stop. And man, let me tell you, oh man, is it brutal. Brutal. But I wanted to try to do it again because I knew I could have went even further. He couldn't believe it, the guy that did it. He was like, he thought I was insane. He's like, I don't think nobody had ever beat that, ever. And these are professional athletes, Olympic athletes. And he says, man, he goes, you just blew him away. He goes, he was shocked, let alone my age. He was really blown away. And see, that's how I am. I mean, I can push my body to extreme stuff, man, that people just can't. And that's just how I am. I can, my body will be hurting and in so much pain or whatever, and I'll push right through it and keep going and keep going. I mean, I've always been a phenomenal athlete through my whole life. I mean, I could have went to the NFL, all that stuff. I had college scouts, through my whole life talking to me and telling me I could go wherever I want, blah, blah, blah. But anyways, then of course, I went down the wrong road and drinking and drugs and all that stuff. And, it is what it is. But I had a promising career at one point.
Well, never cut yourself short, and you're not dead yet. And if you can do something extreme, as in endurance athlete, some sort of activity like that, where you're doing an endurance athlete exercise for a cause, as in veganism, that would be a good thing that might get some views. Like watch this guy do this for X number of times or whatever.
Yeah, I'd like to do that.
Maybe an outdoor scene.
With that same one thing that I did, I would love to do that and beat my record, because I put the record now.